You know what's interesting about investing? Believe it or not, the hardest part isn't picking the right stocks or building a portfolio or even knowing when to buy and sell. The hardest part is simply sticking to your plan, being disciplined, and having commitment. In fact, many investors lose money because they lack these skills. See, achieving your financial goals and building wealth takes time. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And today I'm going to share the exact habits and tools that will help you stay on track even when things get tough. By the way, this is video 5 of our beginner's guide to investing. If you have been following along, you have already done the hard work, which is setting clear goals, opening the right accounts, and building your portfolio. But if you're just joining us now, don't worry because I will link the first 4 videos below. Let's start with a very powerful habit for long-term investors, dollar cost averaging. Now, I know this sounds like a fancy financial jargon, but it's actually really simple. It just means investing the same amount of money on a regular schedule, no matter what the market is doing. Think about it like going to the gym. You don't try to do a year's worth of workouts in January, right? You go regularly, maybe 3 times a week, all year long, and that consistency is what gets results. Before we dive into how this works, let's remember something crucial. We are talking about your long-term money here. If you have been following this series, you know that any money you need in the short term belongs in a high-yield savings account. What we are discussing today is money you are investing for goals that are years, even decades away. Now, here's why consistent investing is so powerful, especially when combined with index funds. While individual companies can rise and fall, the overall market has historically grown over long periods. Take the S&P 500. It's like a self-updating list of America's 500 largest companies. When some companies struggle, others grow and take their place. That's exactly why we focused on index funds in our previous videos instead of trying to pick individual winners. Let me show you how this all comes together. Say you are investing $300 every month. Some months when prices are high, your $300 might buy 5 shares. Other months when the market is down, that same $300 could buy 7 or 8 shares. And here's where the magic happens. Since the overall market tends to grow over time, those extra shares that you bought during market dips become even more valuable when the market recovers. You are essentially turning market volatility into your advantage. When prices drop, you automatically buy more shares, and when prices rise, those extra shares multiply your gains. Think about what this means for you as an investor. Instead of stressing about finding the perfect time to invest, you are building wealth systematically. While others might be paralyzed trying to predict market movements, you are steadily accumulating shares month after month. It's a strategy that fits perfectly into your busy life. No need to constantly watch the market or make complicated decisions. Just set it up once and let consistency work its magic. And here's the best part. Setting this up is easier than ever because most investment platforms let you set up automatic transfers from your bank accounts. You pick the amount, you pick the day, maybe right after your paycheck hits, and then it happens automatically month after month. And it requires no willpower and no decisions to make. The money moves before you even have the chance to think about spending it elsewhere. Oh, and don't forget that getting the money transferred into your investment account and actually investing it are 2 different steps. Just make sure that you're not letting the money sit there uninvested by mistake. Next up is what I consider the most challenging habit to develop as an investor, emotional discipline. And let me tell you, this is the one that separates successful investors from those who struggle. You see, investing isn't just about numbers and strategy. It's about managing your emotions when headlines are screaming about market crashes, when your coworkers are bragging about some hot stock that doubled overnight, or when your portfolio drops by 20%. But here's where all the work we did in our earlier videos really pays off. Remember when we talked about matching your investments to your timeline, when we discussed figuring out your risk tolerance, and when we chose the right accounts for different goals? All of that wasn't just about the technical side of investing. It was about building your emotional armor for those tough market conditions. Let me show you what I mean. Imagine two investors facing a 20% market drop. The first investor randomly picked some popular stocks because they were hot. They had all their money in one account and they weren't sure when they needed that money. When the market tanks, they are paralyzed with fear because they don't know if they should sell everything, if they should hold on, if they should buy more, because they have no framework to help making these decisions. Now look at the second investor, all right? This person has done the work that we talked about. So they have the goal of retiring. So they have their retirement money in a separate account with a growth-focused portfolio because they know they don't need that money for the next 30 years. They have the goal of sending their kids to college, so their college fund is in another account with a more conservative mix because that timeline is shorter. And when the market drops, they can stay calm because they know that each account is properly positioned for its specific goal. They're not making emotional decisions, they're following their pre-planned strategy. This is why emotional discipline isn't really about willpower, because willpower can fail us when emotions run high. It's about having a rock solid system that gives you confidence when everyone else is panicking. When you have matched each investment to its purpose and timeline, market volatility becomes something that you have planned for rather than something that catches you off guard. Think of it like wearing a seatbelt. You don't have to consciously remember to stay in your seat during a car accident. The system, the seatbelt, protects you automatically when things get rough. Now that we have built this solid investment framework, let's talk about how to maintain it properly. One of the most common ways investors sabotage their own strategy, it's actually something that seems harmless: checking their investments too frequently. Think about weight loss for a moment. Imagine stepping on a scale multiple times every day. You would see your weight fluctuate by a pound or two just based on what you ate, when you last drank water, or even the time of day. Those constant checks don't give you useful information. They just make you anxious and more likely to make emotional decisions about your diet. Investing works the same way. When you check your portfolio daily or even multiple times a day, you're not gathering useful information. You're just exposing yourself to market noise. One day your portfolio is up 2%, the next is down 3%, and these movements, they don't tell you nothing about whether you are on track to meet your long-term goals, but they can trigger exactly the kind of emotional reactions that we have worked so hard to avoid. This is why successful investors build a structured monitoring system. Instead of randomly checking their accounts whenever they feel anxious about the market, they set up a regular schedule, and here's how it works. Once a month, do a quick check to make sure everything is working properly. Are your contributions going as planned? Is your money being invested, or is it just sitting in the account? Then every 6 months, take a closer look. This is when you might want to check if your investment mix, the split between stocks and bonds that we talked about in the last video, is still in line with your plan. And once a year, do a deep review. Look at your progress towards your goals. Are you still on track? Has anything major changed in your life that might affect your investment strategy? This monitoring system brings us to perhaps the most powerful mindset shift in investing: focusing only on what you can control. Think about it. The market will do what it does. Interest rates will change. Global events will unfold. These forces affect everyone from beginners to billionaires. But here's what makes the difference. Instead of trying to predict or control these forces, you can pour your energy into the things that you can actually influence, into the things that you can actually control, which is how much you save and invest each month, how you structure your portfolio, and most importantly, whether or not you're staying committed to your strategy. It's like being the captain of your ship. You can't control the weather or the waves, but you can control how you prepare your ship. You can control how you chart your course and how you handle the storms when they come. Now, one final habit that ties everything together is strategic learning. And I can already hear you saying, great, one more thing to add to my endless to-do list. But here's the thing. I'm not talking about spending hours studying financial financial textbooks or obsessing over market news. Instead, think about learning like building any other skill. You wouldn't try to become a master chef overnight, right? You will start with basic techniques, you will practice them regularly, and gradually build your expertise. Investing works the same way. Start with understanding the fundamentals we have covered in this series. Then, as you get comfortable, gradually expand your knowledge about things that matter for your specific goals. The beauty of this approach is that it fits naturally into your life. Those moments when you are commuting, exercising, or doing household chores, there are perfect opportunities to listen to a quality podcast or watch an educational video. The key is to understand enough to make confident decisions about your money, whether you are managing your investments yourself or working with a professional. So there you have it. We have covered the key habits and tools that transform investing from something stressful into something manageable. And if you have found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for the final video in our beginners series. Thanks for watching and I will see you in the next one.